What's going on, guys? Chad here. Just want to give a quick update. I noticed that my video stopped at the gold price, and I don't know why it stopped there, but anyways, if anybody cares, you can follow along and listen here. I just regard these charts as something that needs to be checked on every month or so. I look at them pretty much daily, but it's really important to know like where we're at in the story. And for me, these charts are a guideline to what's happening because if you look at the dollar, the commodity market, the gold market, the bond market, the stock market, etc., you kind of have an idea what's might happen in the future. Stock markets predict recessions, pretty much every single one in advance. So if the stock market goes down, it generally you know, predicts a recession within 3 to 6 months. And right now, the stock market is in trouble as expected. If you look at my last videos, I've been bearish on the stock market for about 2 months, and it's done nothing but go down. It's down about 20% since then, and I don't expect it to um, make a new all-time high pretty much ever. So this is the gold price breaking out. There was massive resistance at this 1880 level and this 1840 level. Um, it's interesting to see gold break out in this situation because it basically means that it is the only thing that's breaking out at this point to a new all-time high. And, if the only source of trust is in gold across the board in the world, where no one trusts each other except for gold, which has no counterparty risk. So whoever has the gold basically makes the rules. And you can go back to J.P. Morgan to, I think it's either Rothschild or J.P. Morgan that made that statement. He who has the gold makes the rules. And the bond market is not behaving well. The stock market is not behaving well. Bitcoin, cryptos are not behaving the best. I mean, cryptos are down 50 to 80%. I mean, Bitcoin's down at least 40% right now and could easily, based on my last video, have a royal flushing. I'm watching that pretty closely because, it still needs to break down. So, no conclusion yet on that. But if it closes below 36,000, I would imagine there's going to be a royal flushing, like a serious so its all-time high was 64,000, supports at 17,000 or 16,000, and it could even go lower than that, but let's just, that's a kind of the first target if we close below 36,000. It's interesting that gold and silver is actually breaking out as well, which we'll get to. The bond market worldwide is the US bond market is the biggest in the world. I think it's like $34 trillion. And the world, every bond market in the world is performing very bad, which means that no one trusts anybody to get paid back, essentially. And the fact that the bond market's not getting a bid right now is quite concerning because the stock market's not doing so hot. So we'll go through that in a minute. But if all the liquidity goes into gold, I mean, just imagine such a small market in silver. So I can't believe silver is actually rising into this bear market that's starting in stocks. That is very rare. I have never seen that before. I've never seen gold rise since 1987 almost. I think it was the last time gold actually rose in a crisis. So gold is peaking up. It's made a new all-time high last week. It's probably overbought at this point, but I assume this is a breakout from a cup and handle, and the direction is essentially up. My eye is on 2100. If it goes vertical on 2100, I would assume there's a problem in the system. But if this happens slowly, gold just kind of like moves up slowly, not vertical, I think things would be more under control. So like I'm looking for like support at 1920, and this is almost like an indecision candle where it shoots up and then kind of stops. So is this one here though, and look at um, 2 weeks later, and it's all the way up, very much so higher. So you can kind of look at support at 1920 and resistance at 2100, and like we were talking before, the March 28th and the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting, they always knock gold, and March 28th is when I think when the options expire. So look for some shenanigans and illegal activity by the banks um, between now and March 28th. If it goes vertical, I would assume they lost control and get your shit in order is kind of where that terrifies me if gold actually spikes past 2100 and just goes vertical at that point. Because, like, Bitcoin's gone vertical in this bubble, and, $64,000 Bitcoin, and, the world's pretty much working fine. Uh, Gold going up thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars a day, the world will not look fine. So that's kind of one of my arguments, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but that Bitcoin is not your savior, um, and it doesn't react like gold, which was originate. The whole mining part of Bitcoin, the coin part. You look at a Bitcoin on the screen, and it's a gold coin looking thing. It's a token, whatever. It's not. It's designed based on gold, but it isn't gold, and it's proved to not be gold. If Bitcoin was going vertical right now, I would maybe change that opinion about it, and that remains to be seen. It's a possibility. I'm not dismissing cryptos, but they're not behaving the way that they should be in this market, like with everybody dodging sanctions, and governments adopting Bitcoin, and everyone's so bullish on Bitcoin that it's going to save the world. It's the internet of money, and like this is the time where Bitcoin should be making a new all-time high, and gold actually made a new all-time high this week. So it seems that gold's reestablishing its predominance at this point, and it's outperforming Bitcoin. Not to say like if you own Bitcoin, you're obviously doing well. So there's no question. But if you own Bitcoin in the last 3 years, 5 years, you may be underwater. Um, and if it drops down to 17,000, a lot of people are going to be underwater. I know people that don't care about that. They don't care if Bitcoin drops 80%, they're still going to be in. I just don't think it's wise to, if you're saying there's a chance that Bitcoin's going to go down by 70, 80%, and you still want to be in that market, to me, that's just a religion. I mean, if gold were to fall below 1650, I would say, get out of that.